Hi students, in the previous exercise we were exposed to constraints. The various constraints will help keep geometry together to maintain tangency or the maintain radius. The first thing, a fixed segment is not constrained to its adjoining segments, so it does not maintain tangency to segment on either side. Second, a floating segment maintains tangency at one of its endpoint, but the other end is not constrained, therefore tangency will not be maintained at the constraint end. The third, a free entity is constrained at both ends, thus maintaining tangency at both ends. So you may have noticed in panorama the tangency constraint field that you look at briefly in the previous exercise. We can click any segment and change the constraints. You can also change the constraints in the sub entity editor. So in this exercise we will experiment with constraints that their effect on the behavior of an alignment in Civil 3D. If your file is not open, still open from the previous exercise, you can open 607 alignment editing finished drawing, which I will put in the description. If you did not get, please write down in the comment box and I will put you a drawing. So once you will open this drawing, it's the same drawing with which we already used in the previous exercise. Just select row D, alignment, to activate the alignment contextual tab. Okay, sorry. Select alignment from the selection cycle, and from the alignment contextual tab on modify panel, choose geometry editor here. Okay, and in the alignment layout tools toolbar will open and you need to select alignment grid view. Then click in the tangency constraint field of the third curve and change it to not constraint fixed. Third curve we have here. Okay, and the tangency of the third curve is here, so we need to change it to not constraint fixed. Okay, now notice that when you change the third curve from constraints on both sides free to not constraint fixed like this, the segment before the curve changes from not constraint to constraint by next floating here. So once you click on the alignment here to grip edit the curve using the circular grip on the alignment midpoint of the curve, this one, if you will put it here, you will notice how the curve radius increase. You will see the curve radius will increase to account for the change. So also notice that the tangent are also changing to account for the change. So you may need to move panorama out of the way to see the, okay, like this we can do it, or then press escape on your keyboard to cancel the grip editing. You can use the undo command for all changes like this. So in panorama, now click in the tangency constraint field of the same curve, okay, same curve which we already play here, and change it to constraint by previous floating. Okay, we will change it here for the previous floating. So the line before the curve segment will change back to not constraint. You will see not constraint fixed, it's already changed. So click the alignment again to show the grips for alignment and change again with circular grip, and you will notice here how the curve changes its radius, but the first line maintain its bearing. If you see here under the bearing, you will see bearing, delta angles, degree of curvatures, that will not change direction. Sorry, here it is our bearing, and then now again press escape to clear the selections, and you can undo which you have changes. Then again click in the tangency constraint field of the same curve and change it to the constraint by next. Constraint by next floating. Okay, the line before it and after it will change to not fixed here and not fixed, not constraint, fixed here. Then again click the alignment to grip edit to show the grip, and using again same grip. Once you will change, you will notice that the curve now maintain its tangency with the following line but not the previous line here. Okay, so this is how constraints work. Just press escape on your keyboard, and you can also Control Z for the any changes. Then click in the tangency constraint field of the third curve of the alignment and change it to the constraint on both side free. Here both side free, and grip edit the curve using the same midpoint again, and see the curve maintain here its tangency with both the previous and the following lines. Again press escape on your keyboard to cancel the grip editing, and you can also use Ctrl Z to undo the commands. Then close alignment layout toolbar. Okay, and when you access the alignment properties dialog box like this, an alignment containing curves, some additional options become available that were not available when the alignment was originally created. So in the point of intersection here, you can select whether you want to visually show points of intersection by changing in alignment directions or by individually curves and curve group. You can also choose to not display any implied points of intersection choosing these options. So in the constraints editing tab, you can select if you want to always perform any employed tangency constraints, swapping, and log all parameters constraints. So this is how constraints work with alignments, tangency, and curves. If you want to know more about alignments, stay tuned for the next exercise where we will explore explore how we can change alignment components in Civil 3D.